Survival games are one of my personal favorite genres in all of gaming, and they are one of the most underrepresented, underproduced, underfunded, like literally one of the smallest genres in terms of how many really good games there are. But when you come across a good one, you got to hold on to that puppy for dear life. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are reacting to the world record run for Green Hell Explained. This is going to be kind of like the Subnautica run that I reacted to, and in which the guy is actually going to explain what he's doing. I think he didn't record this live. It's kind of like a post-commentary type thing, whereas the Subnautica guy was like literally insane, just reading off everything and saying everything as he was actually like playing. But this run right here is by Eric G08. Make sure you guys go check him out. Links are in the description. Absolute legend. Allowed me to react to this little, you know, speedrun explained. So this is his world record run explained by him, and I think it's one of the most fun ways to watch world record speedruns. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Without further ado, Green Hell completed in, I'm guessing, like 20 minutes. Literally, it seems like it's 20 minutes.
My name is Eric, and this is my speedrun explained for Green Hell 80% good ending.
Oh, good ending. That's good.
So, the difference between 80% good ending and regular 80% for this game is that our goal is to obtain the cure.
Oh, yes.
And
I remember.
get to the radio cutscene in the end game for this category.
Oh, his voice is so soothing. It's actually so soothing. So you actually can have two completely different endings.
Day 1 screen. And we're greeted climbing on top of this hill as someone named Jake.
He's already doing
when
tricks.
you're turning like that, you can interact with objects that are in your path. So there, I just pick up those 2 rocks for fun. That has no impact on the run. It's just something fun to do. You can also pick up sticks if they spawn there. And you can also pick up big rocks if they spawn there. When going through dialogue in the game, you can both press T and the mouse 1 button to select dialogue. So ideally, we want to be clicking both in order to click the dialogue.
So basically, you just spam click and T to get through the dialogue as quickly as possible.
So starting off here in this current scene that we're in, our only form of movement is walking, sidestepping, and backstepping. Since walking is slow, we'll be backstepping and sidestepping as much as we can. In this game, there's stamina, so we have to wait for that to regen before we can continue sidestepping or backstepping. Currently in the game, there's no known way to get infinite stamina.
That's interesting.
So the category depends on stamina management and how well you can do that.
That's really interesting that
right here, I just have to wait for the next scene to open, but I can spend my time collecting useful things such as sticks, tinder, all that good stuff.
So oh yeah, because it makes you do the tutorial fire. Dude, this game, if you haven't seen my playthrough, was one of the roughest times I've ever had.
Unlucky with my sticks.
That was unlucky.
Unfortunate.
Dude, it took me so long to figure out how to live.
Character, and we can now interact with your inventory. For objects in Green Hell, you can pick them up instantly, or you'd have to fill up a ring to pick them up. For objects where you have to fill up the ring, you can actually queue up that ring by holding the use key before you get into the range of it. So for example, for those 2 nests I picked up, I was holding E before I was actually in the range in order to pick them up. But because I was holding E, the ring was already filling up. So when I got into the, usable distance for that, it just picked up instantly.
That is insane. What?
So coming up is...
Dude, what I love doing is I love playing through a video game, and if I get the urge to play through it again, I'll watch something like this. I'll see how they do just basically the best stuff possible as quickly as possible, and it makes the playthrough so enjoyable. The first time I played Green Hell, I didn't look up any tutorials. I probably died like 6 times in the first 3 hours of me playing because it was so incredibly hard to manage your hunger. You have like 4 different, you need like fats, lipids, like carbs, all that stuff. You have to manage them all. It's so difficult.
Trick of the run. It's called a tree hop.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
For my technique, I follow along this ridge that sticks over the land. From there, I will jump to the corner and then jump to the side of a tree that's sticking out and then onto the tree. I'll demonstrate it here.
Oh,
so
he's
on the ridge, corner, next to the tree, onto the tree.
Oh, that's really cool. So that skips getting the climbing gear, right?
Make are running out of stamina and jumping too soon.
So this isn't actually the
If you
world
jump too
record
soon,
speed run.
you're likely to be pushed by
It's just
invisible
him
barriers that
explaining
exist
it.
everywhere in this game. Or you just straight up won't jump whatsoever because you jumped.
I mean, honestly,
before you hit the ground.
This is probably way more entertaining than the actual world
Once
record.
more here.
Dude,
and
this
then
guy is
across the
a
ridge,
pro at this trick. It
jump in
looks
the
kind of
corner,
hard too.
next to the tree and then onto the tree. All right, now that you know how that's done, let's get back to the run.
So it
Continuing
is
on
his
to
world
run,
record,
we're
but
now
he's just
performing tree
interlaying
hop.
clips. This is so sick. I
Now
wish
that that's
more
done,
world records did
Just gonna keep
this.
on collecting sticks on our way to our next objective.
So this is his actual world record. That was a little clip that he
finding a
interjected in.
frog on the ground in order to make the cure.
Oh yeah, you have to like ultra
Just up ahead,
poison
we'll be
yourself.
harvesting our first plant in order to make the ayahuasca drink. So when harvesting objects in this game, there's a couple animations you can go through. There's one that's just a regular swinging animation, which you kind of want to do. When you're harvesting trees, you just
Well, that was a
whack
snake
at
right
the
there
tree.
on the ground. Monka.
And when you're harvesting crops on the ground, like this one right here, you'll usually go through a long animation of swinging on top of it, hitting the ground, swinging on top of it, hitting the ground, and that just takes too much time. So ideally, when you're harvesting these kind of plants, you want to be swiping the air next to it, making sure you're hitting it with the air swipe hitbox.
What? Dude, I love survival games so much. The kind of tricks that you can do, the inventory management and everything like that. That's one thing we saw in the forest. If y'all haven't seen that speedrun, or especially the Subnautica one, literally my favorite speedrun
While
I've
we
ever
have this
watched.
downtime from walking from one place to another, I'll try to explain a couple tricks that'll be happening soon. So in this game, if you were to, by any means, interrupt dialogue, that dialogue would be skipped to the next, sequence of events. Be that the dialogue ending or a new dialogue starting. In
Really?
cutscenes, when the cutscene only persists of dialogue, and then the cutscene fades out and, you spawn somewhere, you can do whatever you want. Technically, that entire chunk of dialogue only counts as one. Say if you're responding to Mia in dialogue, and you're clicking options. All of those options are into one long dialogue option that you can fully skip, including the cutscene, if you overwrite that with certain values. It's confusing stuff.
Oh gosh, I thought he was dead there. He's
Along with
already
that,
here in the game.
Dialogue by itself, you can also interrupt. If it's just separate dialogue, you can end dialogue early and start certain scenes early. It's pretty interesting. And the same thing goes with maps. When you're loading maps or loading cutscenes, you can change properties of a cutscene to overwrite it with a map, and you can have the properties of that map inside a cutscene. It's super weird, and you'll understand when we get there.
So real quick, I don't think he explained very well what actually he just did. So that frog right there has part of the cure. So essentially in this storyline, there's these people who basically they're they don't have sickness or anything like that. And the main character makes the cure for cancer, and it goes all out across the entire world. And then 2 years later, everybody starts dying. He came to here, he made the cure, everybody starts dying, it's his fault. You find this out through the course of the storyline. And he's in denial, so he keeps reliving this mission right here. Everyone across the world is dying. He keeps reliving this, and if you get the good ending, you actually get the cure and escape, and you leave Mia, who's literally dead. LOL, who you killed. But the storyline is so insane, and what he just did right there, that frog is the reason why the people of this nation that live here can use the cure from this stuff and not die. Basically, they've been exposed since a young age to this very poisonous frog, and that's the reason they survive. So what he just did right there is he just got that poisonous frog, and you get 12 negative status effects when you pick it up. You have to survive. It's really, really hard to survive. I died just accidentally picking one up one time, and because I wasn't ready for it. I didn't even know it was part of the cure. So anyway, that's what he just did. He collected that frog.
Probably not. I still don't get it. Here I'm harvesting 2 logs, and before I get into this tent, I'm gonna open my notebook early before I go in. And when you have a notebook open in transitioning loading zones, you get this weird effect where you're constantly holding a notebook in your hand. Now this effect blocks things such as swinging your sword, so I'll be forever stuck swinging my sword at nothing. It won't work anymore. Here I'm going to make a hand drill. When I make this hand drill, I'm going to use it.
I just realized he still has the fire tutorial. The game still thinks he is learning how to make fire for the first time. The game legitimately still thinks he's trying to make fire for the first time, and he's building the fire inside of this tent while he's finishing like literally the most essential part to getting the good ending.
Without completing its animation. So I'm going to pause so it gets canceled when I get all the way down. And now what I just did there was an animation store where I store the animation of me going down on the hand drill. And now you'll notice there that my hand drill instantly starts, you know, making an ember. And that's because I stored the animation. And that animation persists through all loading zones the entire game until you save and exit. So here is the interesting part. There, I overwrite a cutscene by entering a loading zone. And now I'm in a cutscene with the properties of the loading zone. You know, it does a bunch of wacky stuff. Here's just a few interesting things you could do with this. Fire warping into a loading zone. You can be stuck in here forever. This is what happens when you enter the loading zone too early, is you get stuck in the cutscene but on a different part of the map. Another thing you do is
so he's showing clips right now.
Fire warp into a cutscene into a different part of the map. And now I'm in this cutscene, but I have the properties of being on the overworld, being able to move and everything. This has a bunch of interesting effects, such as I can move around inside a cutscene and see everything around it. Fun fact, in this cutscene, there's actually 2 Mias. One out there by the campfire, and one in her tent on her bed.
Oh, that's so
you're
funny.
Gonna be fire warping into an inside map. And now what this does is that it unloads the overworlds and loads the room world, as you want to call it. And then I warp back to the overworld inside a cutscene that takes place there.
What?
Because I did that, all the floor textures are now gone. So yeah, that's pretty weird.
Dude, this is so interesting. I love how you can just
also,
bust
the sky
games up.
textures are kind of wacky too, but yeah.
Okay.
It's not useful in runs, but it just looks cool. Makes it easy to find sticks. But yeah, that's about it.
That's so interesting,
also, you'll
dude.
see like a weird moon thing at the end of your cursor. It's a dark moon. Don't know what that's about, but that's just something interesting I found out.
Bro, that's so funny.
I showed you all the stuff that I know fire warping could do. Let's get back to the run.
That's so interesting, dude.
So now that we fire warped, you know.
Okay, so what is the? I'm so interested. After those are all of the effects, I'm so interested as what you actually do for the world record.
Map and skipped a cutscene by going in water and overwriting the dialogue. We're now on day 3.
So he already has the cure, but he used that to teleport back. This is supposed to be the very beginning of
roughly about 2 minutes from watching the cutscene. Now we can continue on with our run as usual.
That's literally insane.
So here we're just gonna make our way all the way back to the tree hop.
Because normally everything that he just did, you're supposed to get this day 3 after you build a fire and then you watch a cutscene. It's so early on in the run.
Of course, collecting sticks along the way.
He already has the cure in his inventory, which is insane. The cure is basically you have to find that blue frog, and then you find this like data sampler like in this lab area, and you put the right frog in there. It doesn't tell you any idea of what you need. You just basically either have to know, guess, or look it up.
On the ridge corner next to the tree, onto the tree.
He's a pro at that. So what are we? Okay, so it's 7 minutes into the actual run. So does he have to go back? I guess there's no skipping that fire warp right there, taking you back to day 3, because it seems like he would have wanted to stay over here, but I guess there's no avoiding getting teleported back. Because usually with games with big long stories, or even just like small stories.
Again, I want to dodge the scorpion that's hiding in here. Right to my left.
Oh gosh, dude, those things F you up too. Also, I just realized, I remember whenever you go to the next day in the actual like story, you get fully refreshed of status effects. You get full health, full like lipids, full like carbs, everything like that gets fully refreshed. So he was going to die from that frog that he picked up, but since he did that fire warp before he died, it refreshed
Go
everything.
down the hill and
It's insane.
collect some tree scraps to be able to make my ayahuasca.
Yeah, so this is the
There you see the
drogas
use
right
of
here.
holding the interact button before I get into the grabbable zone for the item, in order to get it earlier than usual.
Ah!
Here I'm just jumping off a mountain casually onto a tent. And I'll be harvesting some logs on the ground for my sticks to make my next campfire.
Yeah, you have to make the fire to yeah. Woo! So quick, dude. Oh,
Once again, there's the use of my animation storage I did earlier. Notice how that animation for the hand drill went instantly, and I made embers really quickly.
yeah, that's so that works, I guess, for the rest of the run. He still has this notebook.
In the stew. Yummy.
Yeah, this is the trippy part right here. Whenever you drink this, you go.
Again, that notebook is there because it's glued to our hand from earlier when we did notebook holding through a transition.
You'll stay here.
Now, because this is all boring and it's just walking now in cutscene, we're going to be, of course,
Is that what you
doing
want?
this.
No, not
That's what I think of all these cutscenes in this game.
He just threw up on her. Because he knows he's about to get his status effects refreshed, so he just ate something that makes him throw up. That's so messed up. Yeah, so this is you slowly learning that Mia is literally a figment of your
So for all
imagination.
these little dreaming rooms, like, there's nothing we can really do. We gotta wait till the dialogue finishes. There's no way of skipping this dialogue that I know of yet.
I could eat.
Is this like the only guy speedrunning this
Yeah, we
game?
just gotta suffer through this.
The
Big lore dump, but
of my
I don't know
life.
the lore of this game. I just
And you
play it to go fast,
were
not to
by
have
my
fun.
side.
Not to have fun. A true speedrunner, dude. I play it to go fast, not to have fun. And then as well simultaneously complaining about cutscenes in the game.
Coming back.
Oh yeah, her cancer comes back and he tries to cure her. But
felt dead.
you know what I mean?
I can't go.
Dude,
forward
the story of this is actually really sad. It's this
I guess if
guy
you
who
plan on
tried
running
to
this
help
game,
and then goes crazy because of it.
A good time to
It's actually really
drink your
sad.
ayahuasca on is around 8:30. Kind of want to aim around there.
Waiting.
So yeah, if you plan on playing this game, try to aim for an 8:30 ayahuasca. That means you're on a pretty good run. If you get like an 8:10, 8:05, that means you got pretty good RNG, or you just have great movement.
Became a walking time
Couple
bomb.
things to look for when you're doing your runs.
Everyone was infected. Everyone.
The speedruns for this
Again,
actually
can't
seems
skip
pretty
any of
like
this.
pretty decently
Dreadful.
maybe decently easy.
It's just like the
to,
next 7 minutes, sorry, 4 minutes is all cutscenes.
Me alone.
Oh, this is where you learn everything.
You wanted to save me again, but what will the price be this time, Jake?
This is where you learn everything. Man, he's already at this part in the
The
game.
one downside
This took me
to
like
playing
12
this game as a
hours.
speed game, along with this category and the main category, more than half the run is all cutscenes.
What? Wait, really?
So yeah, pretty brutal.
What happened here?
Half of the
I'm just trying to
run?
do as much fun things as I can in all these cutscenes.
Tribe suffer.
I sold their secrets.
It's easier not to remember.
Yeah, he like literally goes crazy.
Isn't it?
What's wait, what is is he exiting the
I'd be
tent?
interested to know if anyone ever makes a debug menu with like fly enabled, so that we can see where all these maps are being held.
Tent and
I'd love to be able to explore where all these maps are. It'd be very interesting to see.
Yeah,
You
so
know, maybe we
so
can get to them early. Maybe we can trigger stuff. Who knows?
so
Long.
so
Yeah, the hospital is on one of these maps inside the forest in the dream world.
I can't remember.
If we can get there early, that'd be pretty cool. But as far as I know, we can't. Going back earlier towards the fire warping through transitions. When you fire warp into a cutscene that takes place on the dream world, but you fire warp through a transition that takes you outside to the overworld. The overworld is it looks like the overworld, but it has the properties of the dream world. And in the dream world, there's actually no possible way you can die. Death planes don't exist. Animals don't exist. Hostile falling damage doesn't exist. You can literally fall forever. Eventually, when you reach over to the map, the lowest I made it is to negative 27,000 units, and then my game crashed. Don't know if that was a coincidence or if that's like the limit you can go. I didn't bother testing it again because it took about 7 minutes to fall that far.
Bro, this is hilarious because this guy legit. I can't wait to see what the rest of the run looks like after this 4-minute cutscene. This guy legitimately seems like he hates the game that he plays.
But you know, I was just
The
interested.
notebook is
to
still
see
in
what
his
would
hand
happen.
too, and it looks like
Yeah,
he
you
found so much
really
stuff in this
cannot die in
run.
the dream world.
So basically what he was talking about earlier is that like a lot of times in video games, if a room looks exactly the same, but it's like on fire or there's like some sort of special property about it, like there's a nighttime version, usually it's not the same map, but like a nighttime version, it's literally, usually it's not like the same map, but they change it to nighttime. Usually it's a completely like duplicated map, but with whatever properties change. So he's saying if I could somehow glitch into that cutscene early, I can trigger the dialogue and get an even faster time. That's what he was talking
Yeah,
about.
if you ever wanted to, you know, if you were ever interested in what goes on outside the map, go ahead, go in the dream world, teleport to an overworld map, and yeah, it's pretty whack. You have the world's slowest movement because, you know, you have dream world movement on an overworld map. So yeah, that kind of sucks.
He's just talking while Mia's just like crying, just absolutely. Oh yeah. Also, that's a really sad part because he heard her on the walkie-talkie and he thought she was lost. And basically, he's been talking to her and she's been like, "Don't worry about me. Don't try to save me," everything like that. And then you find out later she hasn't been captured or like been lost, but she's been dead.
Hospital
It's just
scene.
so sad.
Once upon
And that's the radio right there that you keep hearing her like say that's she said she needs help. You think she's been captured, but that was really her at home, like in the hospital bed, like saying, "Come back home. I'm dying. Like I don't care about the cure. I just want you." And it's so sad,
a couple
dude.
patches ago.
It's a good ending, by
You
the
were
way.
able to
This is the
sidestep
good
off
ending,
that
by the way.
chair. But it appears the devs have patched that nowadays, so you can no longer sidestep off that chair. Saved like a second back then. It was, you know, interesting, but whatever.
He's pissed.
Also, that door right there is like magnetic. You can just like dash to it from across the room.
Yeah, you think she's on the island with you the whole time, but this was really her like
Yeah,
a
something
couple
interesting
like
to point
years
out
ago.
here, just from a gameplay perspective.
You didn't listen.
If you go to that window over there,
Understand.
Mia isn't in the reflection of the window.
That's
Of
creepy.
course, you can also bring up that Jake isn't in the reflection, but like,
To end it.
who has the time to animate reflections in this game? But yeah, everything else in that mirror, why am I saying mirror? Window, has a reflection. So the entire room is just reflected, except for Mia's entire station right there that she has. She's not in the mirror. The window reflection.
That's creepy. Wait, that's actually creepy.
Then go.
Another fun fact, this map I'm in right now takes place at the Dream World
Mia, where are you?
village. So this place right here, but in the Dream World. You can actually clip outside the map in the main game. So here I'm doing a trick where I get my notebook updated. I open my notebook, I tab in, I tab out, and then I tab back in the game as quick as I can.
I got it.
And that skips a minute and 27 seconds of waiting time for this cutscene to happen.
And then he skipped. Wait, so basically, this like what he was just in was a cutscene, and since it advanced the game to the next state, and the next state is him on this radio talking.
Time for this cutscene to happen.
And then he hits skip
So yeah,
tutorial.
that's the run. 14 minutes 48 seconds. Not bad. It's a pretty good run. But yeah, usually when you leave the hospital, a timer starts for a minute and 27 seconds, where you can just explore the map, do whatever you want, and then eventually the cutscene will happen. Interesting thing about beating the game as a tutorial, you can actually skip the cutscene. You can actually, skip the tutorial while you're in the cutscene and interesting stuff happens. Still have my notebook here. But by far the most interesting thing of them all is what's going to be happening next. So, when I get up here, you'll notice that my vision snaps, and I can tilt my head.
Mia,
So for some reason, your mouse behaves wacky in this scene, we'll call it. Looking left, actually tilts your head left. Looking right, tilts your head up. Moving your mouse down tilts your head right, and it just makes no sense. You can't actually, in the vanilla game, oh, this is vanilla, you can't normally tilt your head, so it's really weird. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this explanation of the speedrun. If you have any questions, take them to the comments, or you can message me on Discord. Discord will be on the description. And no commentary version of this run will also be in the description.
Bro, that was single-handedly the funniest speedrun I've ever watched in my entire life. Just like the absolute wackiness that he does right here, where it's like teleporting him all over the map, to like literally still being in the tutorial, beating the game, being in the final cutscene, like the time's already over, skipping the tutorial just so you can load into the very beginning of the game, pass out,
Right.
tilt your head left and right, and then going into the end credits is one of, I swear, that is one of the most wild things I've ever seen in my entire life. This game took me hours and hours and hours and hours to beat. And I mean, obviously I didn't know what to do. I was learning from scratch, but this guy, like, I mean, that was hilarious. I gotta say, that was absolutely hilarious. Ladies and gentlemen, hope y'all enjoyed watching. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys want to see a bit more of an action-packed one, make sure you check out the Subnautica one. It's absolutely insane. Even if you never played Subnautica, the guy explains everything that's happening. One of the best games of all time, and one of the best speedruns of all time. And also, I'll have the forest down below in the description. But I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Go check out EricG08, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.